Perfect. Okay, let's go. How about slideshow? Let's go here. How about these beautiful people on stage here, guys? So, all right, we're going to go ahead and get started. My name's Curt Anderson. What an absolute honor, privilege. I am just, man, I couldn't sleep a wink last night. I was just so fired up for today. This is our jam session. We started doing these several months ago, man, and we have a great time, good turnout, good engagement. So how about we start here? So if we were all in a room together, we'd be high-fiving, maybe hugging. I'm not sure what our COVID protocol would be, but we'd be handing out business cards and sharing each other's information. I encourage you, I invite you, I welcome you. Drop your information, your LinkedIn profile. If you want to drop your website, email, whatever's a great way to connect with you, I would encourage you to do so. I'm going to probably be dropping that a few times through the program as friends keep popping in. And you absolutely, please do yourself a favor. As a matter of fact, you will thank me later. You want to connect with our three esteemed panelists today. And so let's just, you know what? Let's just get this party started. So today we're here to talk about how do you make a great first webpression. What a great little fun word that is. I'm going to give a shout out to our sponsors. I think many of us are connected one way or another through the MEP. What is the MEP? The Manufacturing Extension Partnership. Many of us are in that manufacturing world. So of course we are very familiar with the MEPs. We have the Alaska MEP and NWIRC are sponsoring our little jam session today. So I want to give a big shout out and thank you to our MEPs. Whatever state that you are in, boy, strongly encourage you, welcome you, invite you to contact your local MEP. My dear friend, Emily, Joann Wilkins, happy Tuesday, my friend. How are you?
Happy Tuesday to you, Curt. Thank you so much for having us.
Oh, I'm so honored. Look how professional you look. I'm so underdressed today. So, hey, Emily is just an absolute incredible, passionate marketer for manufacturers. She's the founder and owner of Marketing Metal, and we're going to dig deep. Please connect with Emily on LinkedIn. She's absolutely hysterical. She has great posts. She talks about life, her health, her past, her business, and she's just a joy to be in her circle. My dear friend, Paulie, in Jersey. Sounds like we're what like the Godfather is right here in the house, right? So I might be talking about this Paulie and the Sopranos, but that's another story. So Paulie, happy Tuesday, my friend, from Aviate Creative. How are you?
Awesome. Thanks for having me. This is great. I'm
Absolutely.
excited.
So Paulie, branding guru, encourage you guys, you want to connect with Paul. He's a community builder. For any of our friends here that are familiar with the Twitter chat group, I know, Paul, you won't take credit for founding it, but boy, you are a huge advocate and an integral piece of the Twitter group on Thursdays. I don't know, Paul, drop the hashtag in there. Just let people know what's going on Thursdays at 2:00 on Twitter. For anybody that wants to know, my dear friend, my partner in crime, down in Virginia, right on the beltway of DC, Nicole Donnelly. Nicole, happy Tuesday. How are you?
Happy Tuesday. I'm so excited to be here. Thanks everyone for coming. This is going to be so fun. We're going to have a great time.
All right. So again, if you guys just chimed in, boy, encourage you, drop in the chat. Let us know where you're coming from. Drop your website. Absolutely. Your LinkedIn profile for sure. Great opportunity to, if you're new to LinkedIn, it's a great opportunity to start building up your profile with friends and family. And my name is Curt Anderson. I'm an e-commerce evangelist for manufacturers. Most important job on the planet. I'm a girl dad. And so we're just going to dig into some fun stuff. Now, as we talk about how to make a great first impression, we're talking webpression today. Hey, my friend from Miami's joined us today. Rosemary's popping in. So guys, what we want to do is we want to speak your soulmate's love language. What is a soulmate? So now, hey, you know what, Nicole, I'll go back one. My mom's favorite book is called Stop Being the Best Kept Secret. And then Stop Being the Best Kept Secret, we talk about those ideal buyers are soulmates. So what we want to do today, we're going to talk about how these three esteemed panelists just do an amazing job, not only just for their clients, but also for themselves. A lot of times as professionals, consultants, we find ourselves, if you're familiar with the tagline, cobbler's kids with no shoes. Well, our esteemed panel here, boy, they are not the cobbler's kids with no shoes. Emily, my dear friend, you are, man, I couldn't love this tagline enough. Radical job shops. Just talk to us. Let's get radical right here, right now. Talk to us about how the brand and the messaging behind your website.
Yeah. So about a year and a half ago, I had been running my agency for 2.5 years, and I was very much a generalist, as many agencies are. And I decided to get focused on something that was near and dear to my heart, and I had a lot of experience in, and that was working with job shops. And job shops are, they're not the sexiest business out there, and they're really struggling right now to find people to help, to find employees and talent, and they kind of get overlooked by agencies because they're mom and pop shops. They generally don't spend a lot of money on marketing, but in order for them to really grow and thrive, they need to be excited about their brand, and they need to have a website that's not 20 years old and looks like all the other job shops out there. They're at huge risk of being a commodity. So what we do with their brands and their websites is we differentiate them. We make them different than the other job shops out there.
And I love that, Emily. And I want to go back one more. And so, hey, Rosemary's here today. Again, guys, thanks for joining us. Deeply appreciate it. And so, we have, if you're not in manufacturing, these processes, this concept is absolutely applicable to you as you're trying to connect with your ideal customer. But, Emily's taken a deep dive to understand, just think of the person that owns that job shop. What's music to their ears? What's that love language? Make big profits and even bigger impact. Let's get radical. Emily, I just love this. You have this two-pronged approach here, step one, step two, just, you're speaking to your ideal buyer. Walk us through this page here.
Yeah. So like any good project, the setup is going to make the rest of the project go well, right? You have to have a great setup in order to execute the project so that it's profitable for you and valuable for your client. So I did the same thing with my agency work. I think a traditional kind of method for this is you talk to an agency for, half hour, 45 minutes, whatever it be, and then they recommend a whole bunch of, recommend all of these things. I took that piece out, and it's a product now. So it's a 2-hour interview with them. And then after that, I write a brief that gives them, it can give them tips and insights that they can run with. And then if and when they're ready to hop on board, I provide a recommendation for moving forward with a build out, which can be a website, video content, social media content, and we do it all in sprints. So instead of having 10 customers that we're working on all the time, we're really focused on that one project. Right. And we do it really, really quickly, turn it around. We take up minimal time with our client. We eliminate that back and forth that usually happens where you're trying to pull content from the customer. They take forever to get back to you, blah, blah, blah. So we kind of cut all that stuff out. And we just came up with this really streamlined process that my customers have really, really loved. So
that's awesome. And what I love is like, you've really taken a deep dive to understand, like, and what let's recap. Emily niched down, instead of being that generalist, really loves working with manufacturers, niche down, and like, they're busy. These guys are dealing with supply chain issues, labor shortage, everything that's gone on through COVID. And what you're doing is just coming in like, hey, let's get a radical brand process here. And so kudos to Emily. And we're going to dig in. She has some really fun examples that we're going to cover with clients. Paulie, my friend, you are up to bat here. Let's talk about, you come on your website, you have resources, you have information, you have all sorts of great information for your ideal buyers. Just talk a little bit about the process behind your website and how you've made this applicable for your clients.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've been in business for 18 plus years, and we've been working with manufacturers all the way through, but similar to Emily, we discovered that was a big niche market for us, so we really focused in on that. So as you come into the site, right away, we want to establish within that first couple seconds that we work with you. We work with manufacturers, we work with branding and marketing and so forth. And then as we come down into it, we want to start answering a lot of the pain points and challenges that manufacturers face. So how we help you, we educate your market. We, want you to look relevant, up to date, cutting edge, professional. We not only want you to attract leads and sales, but we also want you to attract employees and be able to grow your business that way. So just trying to make sure that you understand that there's ways to stand out from your competition, differentiate yourself, and take yourself into the future. One of the things that drives me crazy is that a lot of manufacturers look very dated, but they create products that are the future. They're putting products on aerospace. They're putting products in all sorts of electric cars and all sorts of things that are the future, and yet they appear, and the perception is that they're dated and outdated. So basically, we want to bring them into the future and let them set a standard as they move forward.
Perfect. Hey, I'm going to politely ask if you happen to be off mute, if you could do us a huge favor, just pop yourself on mute. That'd be awesome. Just to avoid any distractions for our speakers today. That'd be great. So Paulie, here's another thing about making a great first Webpression that I love that you've done here is, guys, reviews. And you think, hey, whatever my company is, if I'm a manufacturer and, a number of you are in different space, if you're a marketer, what have you, Paul, you've done an amazing job, man. 31 5-star reviews. I mean, this is just fantastic. I've done a real terrible job here. And so this is a great, we're going to talk today about like that social proof, and getting those reviews is just a great job. So I salute you for that. Nicole, you're up to bat, my friend. Big tagline that we love to preach and teach is right here. How do you out teach the competition? You just went through a whole rebrand with DMG Digital. Phenomenal job. Absolutely love what you've done here. Can you just talk a little bit about like how you approach this, how you attacked it, and like getting inside your customer and speaking that love language of your soulmate?
Yes, absolutely. So I started this business 3 years ago. Before I started the business, I was working as a marketing manager in-house for a manufacturer. Built their marketing department from the ground up. It was incredibly thrilling and exciting to be part of the transformation there. They were like, we need leads, we need revenue, and was able to build out this awesome content marketing engine for them, and said, you know what, I want to do this for other manufacturers. It's exciting to be a part of. So when we were thinking about how we wanted to rebrand, we really wanted to make sure and focus in on how can we address the 4 things at the top of our website, the problems that our customers are having, lead with that, be very transparent with them about what our pricing is, show them about who we are, who our team is, what's our culture like, so they can get a feel for the faces behind the brand, and then provide them with a really rich learning center where they can learn and educate themselves and self-serve and help answer those questions that they have about SEO and content marketing. Our buyers are very new to, SEO and content marketing. So we wanted to be a place for them to go where they could really learn about that, educate themselves, and find the resources that they needed to get started.
Yeah, I love this page. And again, in both pages, guys, whatever, your manufacturer, your marketer and manufacturer, think about, speaking clearly and concisely, as Emily, Paul, and Nicole have all done. Clear call to action. Let's work together. Let's get radical, just short and concise. Nicole, I love this page. You've got the magnet. You've got, there's really a lot of thought behind this. Just talk a little bit about what you did here.
Yeah, here we're just really trying to hone in on specifically what questions our target customers are asking. A lot of them are overwhelmed, right? They're overwhelmed by marketing. They don't know where to start. Maybe they don't have the resources internally. So when we created the content for this page, we were really trying to lead with that. What are those main problems and questions that they have? How can we address those right out of the gate for them so that they see that we understand where they are and how, and before we even talk about what it is that we can do to help them.
Yeah. Brilliant. And so you guys, are you seeing a theme here? It's like, really trying to get inside that ideal customer, solving their problem. Emily, drop the mic moment right here before you even speak. How about this? Could you please share, when I say the words noticeable, memorable, and shareable, who coined this phrase? Do you know the person that coined this phrase by any chance?
I got it from Pia Silva, who is my business coach. And she wrote a book called Badass Your Brand.
I've read Pia's book. That's a phenomenal book.
It is really good. And I've been in her program for going on 2 years. So,
Nice.
Or year and a half. Yeah. So that's where I heard it first. I don't know if she coined it.
Oh, I was going to give you full credit. We don't need to give Pia credit. She gets enough credit. So anyway, you came on our live show. My goodness, I think it was over a year ago. And with Damon, many of you guys know my partner, Damon, on our live show. And you dropped this just golden nugget right here. Gail, our mutual friend, Gail put out a great post, but let's get in. So just, I'm going to pull up a great piece of work that you did right here. And so, you know what? I don't know if everybody's sitting down. Let's do a little before and after. Okay. Let's see before Emily performed a little magic here. Do you guys notice like a slight, subtle little difference? I know it's very, Caroline, it's hard to see. Linda Bigger's out there today. Rosemary, look very closely. But when I go here to here, very noticeable. You did an amazing job. So, hey, Mike Henderson just joined us. Let's actually, and my screenshot doesn't do it justice. Emily, talk about it's just magic what you did for us. This looks like a large manufacturer, but just talk about what you did for these guys.
Yeah. So, Peter's came to me through the NWIRC. Actually, that's not true. Ashley Walters.
Yeah. We're going to talk about that.
Yes, yep. We will. Ashley referred them to me. So Ashley and one of the owners are dear friends. And this is a second generation business. The daughter and her husband are taking over from her dad and mom. And so they're, updating things, bringing things up to speed. And yeah, she knew she needed to update her website, but she really wanted to be intentional about it and wanted to have some, some sort of a strategy going forward. So we spent 4 days on site. They have 2 facilities, actually 3 facilities we went to film with them. We did some interviews and put together a couple different videos that they can now share on their social media. We encouraged Diana to hire a marketing intern. So she has that now. So the headline, thank you, Rosemary, is it came from doing a Zoom call with Diana and learning. I did the setup with Diana, and she had this sign up behind her that said, "Give a damn." I think that's what it said. Yeah, give a damn. So I was just like actually trying to fall asleep one night and like, oh, they're a heat treating company. Like, hot damn, like, come on, like, right, let's use that. So, and she kind of told me, people comment on it a lot, and it's kind of become their like mission state or kind of their tagline internally, not so much externally. And I kind of had to talk her into it, but they love it. And we made t-shirts for their team. So when we came on site, they all had these awesome t-shirts, and they loved them. They were just over the moon.
That's phenomenal. What an incredible job. And so, we were talking about like Nicole on her site has a learning center. You guys have resource pages on your website. You've created, look at and guys, for our manufacturers out there, look at what Emily's done here. She's created that learning center, Heat Treat 101, all sorts of videos, case studies, social media, why Peters. Just an amazing, incredible job for a manufacturer. And again, let's come back to the presentation. Look where it was. I'm going to come back here again. We'll go into slideshow. Look where it was and look where it is. And Emily, I love what you've done. You brought boldness in just a little snarkiness, a little fun. And like, you brought their personality out on their website. And that's how you make a great first Webpression. How about a round of applause for Emily? What she did for this wonderful manufacturer is we're just striving to make our manufacturers as competitive as possible on the global stage. So Emily, thank you for sharing what you've done there with Peters.
Yeah, and real quickly, thank you to our sponsor, the NWIRC. They did help fund this project. So talk to your local MEPs. They can help you with things like this.
Absolutely. And we're going to have another fun NWIRC example coming up soon here. Paulie, you're up to bat, my friend. Creative Metal Products did an amazing job. Now, again, you guys, you have to look very close. Like if you're checking your cell phone or email, I'm going to invite you to like zone in because it's a very subtle difference here of what Paul did. Now, this is the before, right? I know it's hard to notice. And all right, Paulie, Drop the mic, my friend. Just what an amazing job. As a matter of fact, let's go. Hey, guys, let's go on a little road trip again. We're going to go check out this website. I've got it right here. Paulie, talk to us, man. What was going on with this company? How did you perform the magic here? What happened?
So the CMP was purchased by a new owner, and he wanted to make his mark, stamp it his way. And you know, the old logo and website, as you can see, was extraordinarily outdated and had you know, some cheesy effects added onto it. So we started with a rebrand of the logo, help them with some things like the tagline, the design, all of their branding. And then, you know, we love featuring the video right from the start. But right off the bat, you know, again, wanting to make sure people know they're in the right place, addressing customer pain points, making sure that people know what to do and educate them a little bit on it, build trust, build reliability, you know, try to really create an experience that convinces the viewer pretty early on and so forth.
Yeah, this is fantastic. And so, Paul, I love, you've got the capabilities, you've got case studies, customer support, clean, concise, you've got call to action, fantastic video right on the front. And again, when you look at what what the website was, and, no disrespect, we've all been there. I was like, pulling up, what is it? The fallback, what's that called? The callback machine. What's that called when you can go back? Wayback machine. Thank you.
Yeah.
You can, and there's a lot of challenges that we have out there, but just when you have to make your website, this is really your frontline defense. This is your first impression to anybody that's reaching out to you is right here. So again, Paul, phenomenal job. And one thing I want to give you more kudos for, again, you look at the before and after. Let's just savor that for a minute. Let's soak that in, what Paul did here. Take a look at this. You come to here. And Paul, what I love what you did, let's again, throwing a shout out to you. You have your case studies and testimonials, right on your website. So guys, we're looking for that social proof, social trust, get that on your website. And hey, if you just chimed in, if you, I've been letting people in, thank you. I saw Linda was here, Chris Harrington, God bless you guys. Drop your LinkedIn, your chat, your website in the chat. Let's all connect with each other. If you guys have questions, man, we are here to answer questions. So if you feel free to drop those in the chat. I haven't been watching the chat real closely. Maybe my friends are watching the chat, but Nicole, Donnelly, let's take a look at, this is US Air Filtration, great company down in Texas. This is a before, okay? And now you made a lot of changes. We're working together on this massive, massive e-commerce renovation. Talk to us about some of the changes that you've brought to life here for US Air.
Yes. So I think anytime you're building out or thinking about a new website, the first thing that we thought of here is what can we do to create and build trust through the website, right? Because as time goes on, fewer and fewer people are going to be calling and picking up the phone. They're going to be doing their research online. More and more of that research is happening before they talk to a sales rep. So how can you be building trust through your website? And we knew that we wanted to invest in e-commerce for this company. This was like 5 years ago or 4 years ago, whatever. And so we needed a new website that would allow us to be able to start selling some of their products online, but also create a digital self-serve experience for their prospects that would build trust. So some of the things that we implemented were, they didn't have a learning center or a blog. So we implemented a blog, and not only that, but we started blogging at least twice a month consistently for years so that we could build up a really nice library for people to get their questions answered. We, again, created a really easy way for people to buy right away and to submit a quote. And then we also just built out a ton of like online calculators so people could self-serve and identify, okay, how can I size out my equipment? How can I decide what type of filter media I need? And so we created these very simple quizzes through the website that would help them self-select what it is that they needed, and created a really nice library of videos, product demos, assembly guides, et cetera, to really help create some sales enablement resources for their sales team that they could use, but also educate those prospects before they're even ready to reach out and pick up the phone and call. And we absolutely saw a huge transformation in terms of the number of leads that were coming in and the revenue that was generated from this huge content marketing play that we did for them. That was, the website was one part of that, but it was a lot of things happening behind the scenes that were part of this.
Yeah, this is fantastic. And from a search standpoint, so, we do a lot of, deep dive training, SEO training, e-commerce training with manufacturers through, as Emily's been mentioning, the MEPs. And, Nicole, you and your team have done an amazing job here. And this is, regardless if you're a manufacturer or like my friend Rosemary on a call, guys, man, Rosemary, drop your newsletter in there today. You had a great newsletter that went out this morning, but it doesn't matter what space you're in, 5 ways of reduced dust collection operating costs. It could be, whatever your superpower is, whatever you're bringing to the table. This is just really powerful information. And just, Nicole, real quick, just, talk about all this juicy information that's in this blog post and how valuable it is getting those first page rankings.
Yes, absolutely. So when you're really intentional about creating regular content on your website and adding blog posts and video posts and being really intentional about, doing the SEO research to identify what are those keywords that people are searching for, and combining that with the questions that the sales teams are hearing over and over again. What are questions our prospects asking over and over again that we can turn into a blog post? That's a great way for you to scale your sales team, and just incorporating that keyword, those important keywords into the pages, building out a really cool internal linking strategy on these pages so that you're linking out to other pages on your website so that you can keep them engaged, keep them on your site, and continue to build trust. We saw such a huge increase in the page rankings for just a ton of keywords by really being intentional about the content we were creating and the strategy behind it.
Yep, absolutely. This is just great. So again, guys, if you want to grab screenshots, if you're like, hey, what was that website? So this is usairfiltration.com. This was Nicole's project. We have Paul's project with Creative Metal Products. It's creativemp.com. And here, Emily did a phenomenal job working on Peter's heat treat. So again, if there's anything applicable here, grab a screenshot, grab these websites, and, just check these out. You want to go to their websites and see what they have going on. So, all right, let's keep this party rolling. My friend, Emily, let's go here. Okay. We have a mutual friend, Ashley Walters. I had the honor and privilege. I took a little tour of her facility. Emily, you know what? Emily's so modest and humble. Emily, plug your ears. The owner, president, CEO of this company thinks Emily walks on water. So she just loves Emily Wilkins. She loves what you did for her brand. And I'll tell you, this is an exciting success story. So we have a lot of women on the call. This is a woman-owned manufacturer. She took over, wasn't her family, it was her husband's family. She wasn't even from Pennsylvania. She was from, I think she's from Tennessee or down south somewhere, right? Texas or something like that, right?
Carolinas, I think.
Carolina, yeah. She moves up north to Pennsylvania to take over her father-in-law's manufacturing operation, completely turned around, built it into a powerhouse, sold it to the employees. She just sold out in December, and she's a young, aspiring entrepreneur looking for her next chapter in life. So Emily, you did a great job working with these guys. I reverse things on you, Emily. Here's the before. Okay, here's the before. Maybe let's see if you guys notice a slight subtle difference.
That's not even the worst before.
I didn't take the worst screenshot, did I? But you did. Again, kudos to you, Emily. You did an amazing job of really getting them into the 2020s here. And, I love the tagline here, just talk about what you did for Ashley at her company, how you turned this website around.
Yeah. So, they had a WordPress website that was had become a just Frankenstein monster of, stuff was not working properly. They had plugins that were breaking things. And they're really, pretty scrappy with their marketing and wanted to be able to manage it in-house. And, they had spent a lot of money on HubSpot. I know Nicole is a HubSpot player, and that's awesome. HubSpot is a great platform for a lot of businesses. I think sometimes it's way too much for for certain size of business, and they were definitely in that boat where it was they were just spending too much money on it, and the the suggestions they had gotten from HubSpot were they didn't make any sense. They were putting landing pages on and their blog on HubSpot's URL, not on their URL, and which is bad for your SEO. Like, you want all of that stuff, housed together in your website. And so they were just really struggling with it. Every time she went in to make changes, she was getting lost and frustrated. And they felt like it was not, it was just kind of blah, like it didn't have a personality or any sort of, no personality. I mean, it did not show who they were. And they were, as Curt has said, Ashley is an amazing person. She's passionate, and, they're really big into like building up community. So actually on the homepage, I don't know if this is live, Curt, but their homepage is helping reigniting American manufacturing. And that's their whole thing. Like, they are here for American manufacturers. And they're in Erie, Pennsylvania, which had, has really struggled through manufacturing going overseas. So they've been, there's just a lot of, I'm losing my train of thought, but yeah. Manufacturing in Erie had suffered a lot, and the community has suffered as a result of it. And it's starting to come back. So, so Ashley really loved this, like, had this vision for like the heyday of American manufacturing, which in Erie was like in the 60s. And she had some trade show displays done that had that kind of 60s font treatment. So we kind of took a little bit of that and brought it into this website. Their homepage, the video on their homepage, all of their work is done offsite on customer sites. So, it wasn't something where we would be able to go there and film for them. Although I did do something similar recently with another customer, if you want to talk about that. But so we just took stuff that they had existing and got some stock footage, like these Forge footage that was all stock. And then we put it together with some other things that they had, this time lapse that they had, to show more of the breadth of what they offer, and also bring in that kind of passion part of it, where they're really a staple in their regional community.
Yeah, this and for further inspiration, this woman that we're talking about, Ashley, wrote a book. It's called Grit and Grace. And it's just how she came in, and she had, no manufacturing in her background. This was not in her wheelhouse. She didn't, she was like, I didn't even know what forging or any of these processes were. And she just completely built a powerhouse of a company. It's a really wonderful success story. And Emily, I feel you did a great job of just like bringing that passion, Ashley's passion. And here she is. I think she was on here somewhere, or yeah, there she is right there in Industry Week. And they're doing some really fun things at the company. And now it's fully employee owned. It's just, what a great success story. I think 50, 60 employees strong, and it's just a really great story. So, hey, how about a round of applause for Emily of just turning this, what a little, we won't say a train wreck, but there's a lot of moving parts. And I think you made a good point there earlier, so guys, as you get into this technology, it's important to find somebody, a trusted guide, and that's what many of you are. Many of you out there, Rosemary, Robin, you guys are like those trusted guides and resources out there. Just think of like the how you help the market, and somebody, when they rely on you, boy, just when you can bring those answers to the market on your website. And this was just really well done. Love what you did here. So great job, Emily. Paulie, I think you're going to be up again, my friend. Let's get back on course here. Let's get to this slide right here. Norwalt. Can we talk about this company right here?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, if you want to, maybe we start with that before again. There you go.
I know it's very subtle. You guys got to look really closely here. This is
that's a good one.
I got a little smushed, but yeah, if you want to go to the live site, it shows
one more time, before and after, and let's go to the live site. Let me pull it up real quick. Go ahead, Paul.
So Norwalt had like an issue with identity, because when we got there, Their whole logo, they were called Norwalt Design, and a lot of people confuse them with a design company kind of thing, but they really specialize in automation. So we redesigned their logo to be more automation based, creating like a very memorable N out of a cycling belt. And then the tagline was created as well. We came up with the next evolution in automation. Did video shoots and photo shoots to bring in new information. But as you come down, we really want to quickly address the niche markets they work with. We want to, one of the things that seems to be a massive differentiator is customer service. So we dive into that. We hit them with statistics pretty quickly. Like what was crazy to me is like, this is a company that they would go into a manufacturer, and the manufacturer might be putting out 50 products per minute, and then they would like rework it and it'd be spitting out 1,200 products per minute. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, you have to show these statistics on your site. So, we hit up with a lot of those statistics. We build up credibility through testimonials and through case studies and so forth, and then hit people with a nice, strong call to action. So the whole site just kind of reinforces their credibility, shows a lot of examples, and is very convincing. What's really exciting is we did this a little while ago, and they just now opened their second facility up in Florida. They have a facility in New Jersey, and they just opened a second one. So I'd like to think that we had some part of that success.
Hey, take full credit for it.
There you go.
And hey, and what I love here is, we're talking about the MEPs. They've got a little shout out here to the New Jersey MEP. And of course, I don't know if there's any basketball fans, but there was a really, not for our friends at Purdue, but Farley Dickinson just took down Purdue, if you were watching March Madness this weekend. So that was an exciting upset. So, and again, social proof here, you've got the SHARP program. You guys aren't familiar with SHARP, that's, safety. So all these certifications, there was a lot of thought and a lot of intention behind, boy, Paul, let's get into the weeds a little bit here. Like, what were some of the other things that was really important to the owner, like the, CSA certification, CE, like these are all really, when you're in manufacturing, like these are really important pieces.
You want to build credibility and trust, reliability, all of those things kind of come into play. Absolutely.
Yep. Okay. And service and support. So again, guys, just, phenomenal job for Paul and his team coming in and just really turning the ship around for this manufacturer. So if you want, if you're looking to open up a second facility, I encourage you to reach out to Paul Kiesche, because he has the magic touch, and you are opening up multiple facilities thanks to Paul and his team at Aviate. So
that page right there is an interesting story in itself, in the sense that a lot of people just say, oh, we offer service and support, but that's such an important feature for something like a job shop or a manufacturer, and talking about that. So one of the things we do is we dive deeper into those things and say, like, well, how do you support your customer, and what are all the different things you do? Because that is your differentiation often, is how you're treating your customers and knowing that they have that support. So a lot of people overlook things like that. And same thing with the careers page. If you're having trouble hiring people, put more attention on that careers page, show the benefits, show the different things that you do for within the team, so there's a lot of things you can do there. So I'll talk about your benefits, talk about what you offer, and so forth. So, and that goes for the branding and Webpression as well, in the sense that not only is your future client coming in through this, but you're attracting employees through this as well, which is huge for manufacturers right now.
Let's hit that. I don't think we can overstate that, especially in the manufacturing world and what's been going on through COVID with labor shortages. So many manufacturers, I've gone to, workshops, or, they're like, man, I'm at capacity. I can't bring on anybody. And yet exactly what you're saying, Paul, if you go to their website, maybe it looks like some of these earlier websites that we're pulling up that you and Emily and Nicole have worked on, but, not thinking that, hey, not only is a customer a soulmate, boy, that rock star, that all-star, welder, or again, whatever space you're in, or like just getting that phenomenal young talent, they're going to your website, checking it out. And if they don't see, like here, like, hey, the company, playing games and, having fun out on the golf course or whatever it might be, Like, these are important. This is important, right? Like, were you encouraging the owner? Was it intentional? Like this page right here?
Absolutely. This was not in existence at all. And, you know, you don't want to go work for a dying company. You want to know that they're part of the future. You want to know that they have a good culture, and it's going to be not just work, but kind of you're spending enormous amounts of time there. You want to have fun, and you want to have a pleasant experience. So, and all of these companies that we talk to, they all have good cultures and good environments. They just don't talk about it. So why not just feature a little bit more of it? It doesn't take much time to add that kind of stuff into a site, you know. It's a good
They're
feature.
the best kept secret. So guys, if you are, you know, you're working at a manufacturer, you're tight on labor, boy, just as important as it is to be recruiting those new clients, new customers, we want to be out there recruiting new talent. So Nicole, you know what? Instead of going back to the presentation, I'm just going to go to our dear friend, El Popular. How's that? So, I know, you know, like if you guys had lunch, has anybody had lunch? Because like if you haven't had lunch, I'm going to warn you, like Emily, you might not want to look at this next slide, just this next website. So if you guys are feeling like a little hunger, yeah, I'm warning you, you might not want to look at this next website. So Nicole, this was our dear friend. This came through the Purdue MEP, great state of Indiana. And man, who's out popular, Nicole? Let's talk about this guy.
Oh, amazing. 100-year legacy. This company's been in business for 100 years. I think it was the first Mexican-American company. And they manufacture chorizo, located in Chicago. And the entrepreneur is third generation family owned business. And he is just an amazing entrepreneur. His strategic mind is just incredible to listen to the stories of how he has transformed this business. So we started working with him, and our first part of this project was to really dive deep and understand his buyer persona that he wanted to target. So that was the first part of our engagement. Before we did any, you know, website recommendations, anything, we wanted to know specifically who he was targeting, and as much as we could. And so we understood that he was targeting distributors. And so what we did is we built out a distributors page here that was speaking just to that specific target. And what we did is we interviewed Edward, the wonderful entrepreneur here, and we recorded him just talking about, he just answered some of the top questions that these distributors had that he was getting over and over again. And we turned it into a web page and answered all of those questions through this web page, so that any distributor that wants information, they could just get it right here. And then we also built out this learning center for him that goes into more detail about some of these questions in depth. So like, what are the benefits of buying chorizo directly from the manufacturer? This was a big question or issue for distributors, is that they want to go direct, and he wants to talk about why that's better than just going with a supplier. So what we did is we interviewed him on Zoom. We were real scrappy, right? So we just recorded him talking about this topic. We set up Otter, which is a really awesome AI transcription tool, while we were interviewing him. And then we just took the footage of that video clip, turned it into a blog post, and turned it into video footage that we could then embed on the blog. Which is really great because it shows the face behind the brand. Like, everybody the company is made up of people, and people work with people. And so you want to really show those stories and show the people behind the brand, especially the founder and the founder story. People connect with that. And so we really wanted to bring him forward and do so through these blog articles. So yeah, it was a super fun project. Super cool product. So
this is great. And one of the challenges that he was facing is, like, he had a phenomenal website, but it was attracting consumers, and he's strictly B2B. And so Nicole did an amazing job of coming in and saying, hey, you know what? We're not speaking to the right soulmate. It's great having these consumers, but he doesn't sell direct to those consumers. He's selling to distributors, grocery stores, that type of thing. And so what Nicole did is she added here the distributor page and the learning center, and then just started interviewing that subject matter expert. Took that transcription from the interview using Otter and just made it really meaty. And did you see what I did there, Emily? Made meaty and juicy blog posts about chorizo. So, okay, let's come back to the presentation here. I know we're winding down. Again, guys, if you have any questions whatsoever, we have great expertise, as you can tell. Nicole, you have one experience that I wanted to pull up. When you talk about like that ideal customer from a branding, that's, like, how do we take, like, it's not always online, but you had a great in-person experience. Share this, and how do we apply this online?
Oh my goodness. Okay. So spring break is coming, right? Everybody's getting ready for spring break, right? Last year, our spring break, I went to a beautiful island in the Caribbean. And it was the end of a beautiful week with my family. And we were at the airport. And I was, when you're at the end of a trip and you're kind of like, oh, I don't want to go home. I just want to stay on the beach and just like soak up the sun. And I'm in the airport and I'm walking to my gate. And all of a sudden, this store, I just walk in front of the store and it literally stopped me in my tracks. I literally couldn't, the color, the branding, the display, how clean it was, it just like spoke to me. My husband was walking right next to me. He just kept right on walking. He didn't even stop at all. He didn't even faze him, right? So what I loved about this experience is this is just a really great example of how a really great physical first impression that really stopped me in my tracks and just made me think about like, how can you create the same kind of experience online? What was really interesting is that they knew who their buyer was. They knew that I was their soulmate. You should have seen like the bag, like look at the bags in the window. Like that is like so me, but it is not my husband. And so they very intentionally made a decision strategically to say, we know that we're going after the Nicole Donnellys of the world. And so we have to create our branding and create our presence to reach them specifically. If they would have tried to target me and my husband, they would have failed miserably. It would have been so vanilla and boring. I wouldn't have stopped. There's just no way, right? So as business, leaders and owners, you really just have to get really intentional about who it is you're serving and not be afraid to niche down and really go all in, because that's when you're really going to make the right first impression to the people that really matter to you and to your business. So I just love this. It was like super bright, colorful, the branding, how clean it was. When I went in the store, someone greeted me and said, hello, welcome to the store. So just thinking about like, how can you translate that experience to your website was something that really just kind of made me think. So
brilliant.
Cool.
Great analogy, great comparison. So, all right, we're going to be winding down here. So again, welcome you, invite you. I'm going to stick around for questions. If you have any questions, drop them in the chat. I know Emily, Paul, Nicole would love to hit any of your questions. Once again, I want to give a huge shout out. Thank you to our sponsors, MEPs. Again, if you're a manufacturer out there, you absolutely want to check out your local MEP. I have a couple quick examples, and I'd love for our panel to chime in. So this is, we covered a couple Pennsylvania manufacturers. This is a great manufacturer in the wonderful state of Alaska. These are two women. They are veterans. Man, they served our country proudly. They are war heroes. They came home. They had PTSD. It was PST. It was a PTSD. What's the acronym? Post-traumatic. PT. Thank you. And so they came home and they decided they were really struggling. They're like, hey, you know what? We were in the military together. Let's start our company. And they do granola that does life. And if I pull up this website, this woman, that is their soulmate. She's like sprinting up the hill. If for the person that's like sitting around eating Cheetos on the weekends, like that's not their soulmate. Their soulmate is sprinting up this hill, very laser focused, very concise. Now, I just showed chorizo. So maybe if chorizo's not your thing, Emily, are you a seafood fan by any chance? Paul, seafood? If you guys, any seafood fans out there, you might not want to look at the next slide. I'm just warning you. Don't look at the next slide. Okay, eyes closed if you're a seafood fan. Bam. How about this? Unleash your hunger. Man, I couldn't love this website enough. This is a company we had the honor and privilege of working with. They came in through one of our training sessions, I think 2 years ago now. And what they do is they have fresh Alaskan catch. They ship it right to your table from Alaska. And boy, if you think that one's good, Unleash Your Hunger will show you what you're missing. How about this one? Mouth-watering options on demand. Don't wait. Your taste buds will thank you. Once again, for those of us in the lower 48, if you want seafood direct from the Alaskan shores to your table, that's who they're speaking to. That's the love language. So we're going to wind down on this. What I'd love for you to think about, the takeaway is like, what are your mouth-watering options on demand that you can share with your ideal buyer, with your soulmates? We're going to wind down. What I'd like to do is I'm going to go back through our panel one last time. And again, in case anybody sneaks out, how about if you've been sitting for the past, I don't know, what time is it? 52 minutes. If you feel like if it's a good time to stand up and stretch, I invite everybody. Why don't you just stand up for a second? And how about we give a big, huge round of applause for Emily Wilkins, Paul Kiesche, and my dear friend, Nicole Donnelly. Thank you guys. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. But don't go anywhere yet, just in case anybody was sneaking off. Let's give a round of applause. Emily, any words of wisdom, parting thoughts of that you want to share with folks? Like maybe they're just starting out or they're a solopreneur, solo marketer. What advice do you have for them to like really just start making a great first webpression?
Man, it's hard to give advice when I don't know what the problems are, but I think keep it simple. Like that's my whole keep it stupid simple is my
that's your line. Yep.
And yeah, I actually have 2 freebies I want to offer. Well, one freebie, one invitation. So I'm going to put it in the chat. This is 5 ways to radicalize your boring website. Oh, nice. And then I also have, I'm going to be offering my LinkedIn workshop again. Nice. So I gotta look at this. Yeah. So you're welcome to join. Invited to join.
Fantastic. And when is your LinkedIn workshop?
It is going to be April. Friday, April, look, 21st.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I haven't even announced it yet.
Oh, yeah. All right. Hey, guys, you're hearing it first thing. So again, connect with Emily on LinkedIn. You can catch her LinkedIn workshop coming up. She's got a free guide here. So Emily, you've really, I didn't know, man, we'll have to geek out about Pia Silva. I'm a big Pia, I read her, she's in Forbes, I believe, read all of her articles. I've read her book. She's snarky, very cutting edge. Talk about like your transformation. How did you decide, like, I'm going to, like, you are very snarky with you, very bold. And and that's who you are. How did you make that collective decision to go that route?
Yeah. So I mean, Pia had a ton to do with that. Like I joined her program, No BS Agencies program. And she, I was really inspired by her material, her content that she put out. It spoke to me very much. I'll tell you the long story of how I actually found her another time, but I was in a kind of place of desperation to keep the story short. And yeah, her messaging spoke to me, and I kind of identified this need, and like that is who I am. I'm very sarcastic and not afraid to speak my mind, and I'm a sailor, so I curse like a sailor. So it just kind of came out of me, and honestly, going on your show and Mavens of Manufacturing was my first podcast that I ever went on. And then I was on your show last January, and doing those things and speaking about my process and my customers on things like this helped me just help solidify it and made me, step into that even more and feel comfortable, being that person. And I think it's something that I had always hidden in my professional life, because I live in a very conservative area, and I moved here, after college. So I kind of I feel like I retreated into myself and was hiding that side of myself in professional settings. And yeah, so it's been awesome, and it's very well received so far. So
well,
my ideal customer, not by others. There's a lot of people who don't like it, but that's kind of the point.
But you're doing yourself a favor, because they're going to find that out eventually anyway, and what I just love what you're doing and admire and respect is you're just being your authentic self. And your humor, your snarkiness, if it's not a good fit for somebody, boy, get that out of the way right off the bat, and here's what's funny. I just sent, so a couple of my Dory Clark friends are here today. I just sent a Pia Silva article. So my book is called Stop Being the Best Kept Secret. She has an article in Forbes, and it says something along the lines, like if you Google Stop Being the Best Kept Secret, Pia and I both come up, and one of her Forbes articles comes up, and I just sent that Forbes article to a friend of mine last week, and she has a PhD from UCLA. So just tell Pia that I'm sharing her brilliance with friends all over. So Emily, again, thank you. Big round of applause for Emily today. I know you're super busy, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate you sharing your passion, your expertise, your experience with us on how to make a great first webpression. Paul, my friend, parting thoughts, words of wisdom, any advice that you would share with our friends today on how they can go out there, keep making a great first webpression?
I think a lot of stuff shared today was fantastic. One thing or two things I would kind of come back to earlier on our conversation is make sure you're addressing your audience directly and not just speaking broadly. Stop trying to please everybody and speak directly to them. And then another thing that was very clearly spoken of many times today was, go bold. Don't play it safe. Safe is boring and will be forgotten, right? So one of the problems a lot of companies do is they put, everything up for a committee decision or a debate, and that's a big mistake. If you don't have to do a committee, like if you're we're working with a library right now, and they have a big committee, like they have to do things by committee. But if you're a company that has, a CEO or somebody in charge of that, or even a marketing manager, whatever, like make a bold decision and go for it. Stop playing it safe and stop involving everybody in the company in your decisions, because it's just going to make everything boring and forgettable. So that would be my wisdom, I guess. Okay,
that was a total. Let's savor that. Drop the mic moment right there, boy. If it's marketing by committee, boy, you're really, it's great to get other folks' feedback, but you need to find an efficient way to do it, Paul. That was just brilliant advice. Be bold, be courageous, and just, break through all that noise. My friend, Nicole, Donnelly, words of wisdom, parting thoughts.
Yes, I'm going to share words of wisdom from one of my, someone that I met at the Inbound conference before COVID. Amazing influencer. His name is Marcus Sheridan. He's amazing. And I remember going to a session at the conference, and I'll never forget what he said. He said, transparency builds trust. And so every time I'm working with a client on a website project, I always keep that top of mind. Transparency builds trust. So wherever you can, be transparent, be your authentic self, share your pricing, try to just as much as you can build that transparency and just be honest with your buyers, and they're going to trust you when you do that.
Yeah. Excellent. So, all right, guys, I see Lisa, Caroline's up in Alaska, my friend Chris, Robin in Toronto. Guys, thank you. I'm sticking around. I don't know if our panelists, if anybody has a call top of the hour, please feel free to cut off. Diane Byer, Donna, Jim's here, Miranda. Who else we've got? We've got Whitney, Robin with TAC is here, Dave Chrysler, Mike. Any questions, comments, and I'd be happy, any of our teammates here would be happy to answer. Drop it in the chat, or feel free to take yourself off of mute. We'd be happy to answer any questions, but any questions. So Emily, what do you got?
Can you stop sharing your screen so we can get the full group and take a little picture?
Absolutely. That's a brilliant idea. What a great idea. So everybody put your camera, everybody throw your camera.
Put your camera on.
Let us know that you're there. Everybody's going to cut off real quick, right?
Hey.
So Jim, Chris, Whitney,
so
Donna,
good to see Mike. Hi, Mike Henderson.
Hey, you know what?
We have favorite Montana Mike.
We have 5 time zones here represented today. We had
Wow.
we had Alaska to the East Coast. Mike is here for the mountain time zone. Thomas is here. David Chrysler's in the house. Catherine in Chicago. So, all right, Emily, everybody, big smile.
All right, big smiles. Ready? Cheese. All right.
Awesome. All right, guys. Megan's here. Catherine, Carla, Estefana. Did I say that correctly? I don't know if I said that. Miranda's here. So, guys, I hope you got a lot out of this. This was just awesome. Again, big round of applause for everybody. You know what? If we're sticking around, I'm going to ask one last question. Okay. If you have one, how about call to action? If like Emily, you've got Let's Get Radical. Paul, you had some great examples with your clients on call to action. Any pieces of advice for that call to action? like a lot of times, a lot of folks will have like multiple call to actions on a web page. Do you guys, any advice there for call to action that you advise? Paulie, what do you got?
So I'll speak to this real quick. So I love being creative and having fun. I would say though, over the years, so again, I've been doing this for since the dawn of the internet, right? Since the late 90s. And we played with a lot of different call to actions, a lot of different types of phrasing and stuff. Just be a little careful with being too creative, because if it's confusing, then you need to be careful that you're not confusing somebody at a crucial moment as the call to action. So have fun with it, but make sure that people know it's what they're doing. So sometimes we've done it where it just has too odd of a statement, and therefore they don't know that that's that call to action kind of thing. So I would just say, be a little cautious of making sure that the usability of it is not lost when you're having fun with the way you're phrasing it and so forth.
I've gotten that feedback on my website before, where like I have like this little, cutesy little Curt lingo, and so, but if it's a new person laying on my website, they don't know Curt's cutesy little lingo. Emily, what do you have?
I was just going to add, make sure you only have one call to action on each, where you are. Because if you have too many, then you confuse your, just like Paul was saying, you confuse your audience if you have too many calls going on.
And Emily, what's your piece of advice? KISS, right? Keep it stupid simple. Keep it super simple. Chris Harrington, how about, your e-commerce guru? What any feedback for our friends today? My friend Chris.
Well, you guys are the experts on this area. So we actually are undergoing a little bit of a transformation on our site, our website. So not e-commerce necessarily. And I think, I like to say it's a living, breathing representation of you. So you got to change it up every now and again. So that's what I would say. Don't let it become stale. Yeah.
Excellent advice.
100.
Nicole, what do you think? When you do a great job with call to actions on, especially like US Air, that example we showed earlier, our friend at El Popular, any advice that you have on call to actions for folks?
Yeah, just make sure you have them on your blog post, on your, if you're going to create a piece of, a web page, just make sure you're inviting them to take that next step. Don't ever not have a call to action at the bottom of your blog post. Invite them, have an offer there for them, whether it's, Mike Henderson has this amazing design calculator, right? This amazing system. So like have that at the bottom of your pages so that people can see it and they stay engaged and you keep them on the page. So yeah. And I just second everything Chris said about your website is a living, breathing thing. And you constantly have to be adding new content to it. You can't just let it be a brochure site. You need to be thinking about continuing to answer those questions that your buyers are having over time. So
excellent advice. And hey, how about Mike Henderson? Mike, give a wave. Mike gets a little shout out today. Mike, thanks for joining us today.
Hey guys. I think when you're building call to actions, you want to take everything you know about yourself and the company and throw it out the window and really step into someone's shoes that knows nothing. Be like, what am I supposed to do here? A lot of times you see these call to actions and I have some insider information.
Yeah.
You really lose
make it simple for somebody, right?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Brilliant advice. And how about our efficiency expert, Mr. David Chrysler? You want to chime in here? Any words of wisdom? Any parting thoughts from your perspective on your web design strategy?
I think these guys have already pretty much nailed it from my perspective. So yeah, they're definitely the experts that I lean on when I have website and or inbound opportunity questions.
That's right. Well, David, I don't know if your ears ring because like you come up, you're our frequent, your name comes up frequently in my conversations. I'm like, all right, what am I going to automate today? What am I delegating and what am I eliminating today? So like, dude, I've got you like ringing in my head. So
that's good.
If you need an efficiency accountability guru, man, David Chrysler is your man. So I appreciate all that you do, David. So I want to be mindful of everybody's time. I don't want to cut anybody short, but I also don't want to keep everybody hanging. Any other questions? What a great conversation today, man. How about another round of applause for Emily, Nicole, and Polly? How about that? So, all right, I'm going to wind down. I'll have the recording for you guys. If you want this, I can send it out to everybody. And so again, we do this every month. We appreciate you guys chiming in, and man, catch us on our LinkedIn live show, catch us on LinkedIn, and let's keep the party rolling. So thank you, everybody. God bless you guys, and have a great rest of your week. Thank you. Thank you, Emily. Thank you, Nicole.
Thank you, Curt.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks so much, Curt. This has been amazing.
Thanks,
Everybody
Caroline.
come
Thanks,
next month.
Dave. Thanks, Donna. Thanks, Robin. Thanks, Carla. Thanks, Catherine. Thank you, guys. See ya.
Thanks, Curt.
Bye.